Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video, which is going to be a makeup haul. If you're not new to my channel, then you know I'm kind of trying to do a beauty budget, just trying to figure out exactly how much I'm spending on makeup. So this video is going to be everything I bought in the month of February, and I know it's been a while, but you know, I've been kind of going through a lot of things. And even though it's late, I know you all have never minded a haul from me. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, I'm Yori. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you're going to enjoy it, and if so, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up while you're watching and hit the subscribe button if you would like to be friends. A big thank you to Luisa Jewelry for working with me on today's video. I've mentioned Luisa Jewelry to you in the past. They are a jewelry company based out of New York, and their company mantra is focused on sustainable, high quality jewelry pieces. Right now, they're having one of the biggest promotions they do all year, which is for Mother's Day, where they're having a buy one, get one 40% off throughout their entire website. Throughout the past year or so, I've shared a number of pieces from their collections, which they do change up relatively frequent. So even if you're not ready to make a purchase at this time, I would definitely keep an eye on their website. They are always coming up with really cute new designs. The ones that I want to share with you today are starting with these earrings. These earrings are called Cuidado, which in Spanish it means careful, and they are hoop earrings. But what I like about them is that they're a little bit streamlined and they're more like ovals rather than being a complete hoop. And I feel that it gives me a little bit of length. It lengthens my face a little bit because otherwise my face is very round. And I like that they are very comfortable. And even though they're more of a statement hoop, they don't weigh my ear down. So you don't have this pulling. They're just that perfect weight in my opinion. And I feel that they really emphasize my face shape in a positive way. I also have this ring. This is their Michele Signet ring, and it is just beautiful. It's got a gold finish, and it's highly mirrored gold finish, and then you have a little bit of a malachite inlay there. Now that one will vary, it says on their website, depending on the nature of the stone, but mine has like linear bands going through it, and it's just beautiful. I love how it matches my eyeshadow too. Being a new puppy mom, I don't have too much time, so I haven't been polishing my nails or much of anything, so I'm just keeping them short, and wearing a piece of jewelry like this makes me feel a little bit more finished, a little bit more put together without putting in those long hours to get myself a manicure. So I think it's a really pretty ring. I really like this one. Lastly, I was browsing around their website and I noticed that they added like these hairpins. Look at how cute these are. I just absolutely love them. They are the gold finish as well, and then they have rhinestone finishes. Now one of the pins has more longer like baguette type stones, and then the other one has rounder stones, and I think it's just a really cute accessory to add to your hair for a little bit of a special touch. And I know that in my last video I wore my hair with its natural texture, which you all know it's a little bit different, and so I feel like having a piece like this will help me feel a little more confident about my hair if I just style it in its natural texture, because it'll look, you know, like I actually tried. I put some effort into my hair and it just adds a little bit of sparkle. Really pretty. I think that this would be a really nice touch for brides or weddings in general as well. And I'm so happy to see them branch out into things like hair ornaments. I would love to see them do more of them. They're not too heavy, but they are secure. My hair is really fine, and as you can see, it's staying put and it's not too heavy, whereas it's giving me a headache. If I have something that's too heavy, I will immediately get a headache, but I've been wearing them all day and no problems at all. I think that they are really cute. So these are the three pieces that I wanted to share with you this time, but of course if you've been watching my videos, you've seen other pieces from their collection. They have a lot of really pretty gift ideas, including some initial necklaces that are very nice and appropriate for Mother's Day. You can have one initial of each child or your mother's initial or something like that. Really cute gift ideas. They also have some with zodiac signs, which I have also really enjoyed, and I featured those in previous videos. Definitely recommend you check out Luisa by clicking in the link in my description box down below. As I mentioned, right now they're having one of the best sales that they have all year with the buy one get one 40% off in honor of Mother's Day. But of course, these are gifts that you can even purchase now and save for a future occasion as well, or just treat yourself, because why not? They do back all of their pieces with a 1-year guarantee. I've never had any trouble with any of the pieces that I have enjoyed, and I have to say I've been less than careful with them. Like, I'll wear them, I'll apply hair products and things like that, and I have not had any issues. So yeah, if you're interested in checking out any of the pieces that I shared today, or you just want to browse around their website, they have a lot of really cute things to choose from. A big thank you to Ana Luisa for the beautiful jewelry gifts and for working with me on this video once again. I really appreciate it. And now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this haul. My first purchase for the month of February was from Beauty Bay, and that purchase was $25.19, and it was the Love Notes palette. I did a whole dedicated video to this palette, so I will link that up in the cards. If you watch that video or my favorites and fails from February, then you know that this palette was not a win for me, not because of quality, but because of the color story. Just in case you didn't get a glimpse of the palette, this is what that one looks like. It's the Love Notes palette. It launched right around February, and I bought it because I missed out on last year's palette, which was the New Romance palette. But I did purchase this one. The quality is great. I think that Beauty Bay has a beautiful, beautiful formula for the price point, and they have very frequent sales as well as a pretty decent rewards program if you want to join. And so the quality is great. Their shimmers are a little bit putty-like, so you want to keep that in mind when you purchase from them, but they apply so nicely. You don't necessarily need a glitter glue, but if you have very hooded lids or oily lids like I do, you want to at least use an eyeshadow primer in order to get them to last well on your eyelids. So this was my first purchase in the month of February. My next purchase for the month I did on February 4th, and that was from Simply Posh Cosmetics. It was my very first purchase from Simply Posh Cosmetics, and I purchased it because they launched a brand new palette, which was the Picking Peonies palette, and then I went ahead and picked up a couple of other palettes that they restocked. So I will briefly show you the Picking Peonies palette, and here's what that looks like. I won't spend too much time on this one because I did a whole dedicated video to this palette as well, which I will link up in the cards with swatches, and I believe it was 2 looks. Very, very pretty palette, very beautiful color story, and a versatile palette as well because you can kind of stick to the rosy tones or the green tones, or you can definitely mix and match. My looks were particularly grungy, I would say, with this palette, which is surprising when you look at the color story. And what you're seeing on the screen is very true to what the palette actually looks like in real life. I found the palette to be really, really good quality, really easy to work with. The mattes were just a little powdery, but nothing too crazy. And the shimmers were really beautiful. Not all of them are duochromes, but some of them are. And again, I will direct you to that video in case you're interested in more details about this palette. It was my first time purchasing from this indie brand, and I went in pretty hard just because, you know, with indie brands, if you catch the items on a restock, you want to kind of pick up everything you're interested in because you never know when their next restock is going to be, and that's what I did. So I actually spent $112 with 3 cents on that day, and I picked up a couple of other palettes. There was a restock on one that they call the Cozy Cabin, and the Cozy Cabin was the predecessor actually to the Picking Peonies palette, and this one is all kind of like blues and purples, and then you have more reddish mauve tones, and it's similar to the Picking Peonies palette that you have 2 rows of mattes, which are the top and bottoms, and then your shimmer shades are in the center. This palette I've not gotten around to using, and so I think we definitely need to swatch a couple of these shades. I think I want to swatch Crackling Fire and Snowfall. So here are those 2 shades on my fingertips, and let's take a look and see what they look like swatched. Oh my goodness. I don't think the oh yes, it does, look! How it shifts from peachy gold to pink. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. And this one is more of a traditional metallic. It has a little bit of a purple shift, but not as intense as the other one. These palettes, oh my goodness, they're so pretty. Love that. I like palettes like this because they're not too big but not too small. They give you a lot of versatility, and they're relatively compact as well. Even though you're getting 18 total shades, I think it's a really nice size, very easy to store, and I like that they're consistent from one to the other. Although when it gets to their all shimmer palettes, those are going to be in a different size format. So here's one of those that are in the smaller pan format, and I believe this one comes with 12 shades. And this is the one that they were restocking that really, really had my attention. It's one of those all shimmer palettes, and this one is really dark, more like jewel tone shades. And of course we should swatch some of these as well. I'm trying to decide which ones. I definitely want to do this one, Surreal. This one feels very much like that first shade that I swatched in the other palette, and then I think we need to do maybe the shade Magical. Oh, it has that same texture that it almost feels wet to the touch. I think we need to do Electric as well. Okay, so this one is a little bit more flaky, but as I work my fingers in there, you can begin to feel that kind of like wet to the touch feel. And let's swatch these over here. Oh my goodness, so smooth and beautiful and shiny. Here's that next one and that last one. See, the last one has a little bit more flakiness to it. And there, oh, the shimmers, oh my gosh, they're so shiny and metallic and beautiful. Oh, I just love them so much. They feel so smooth too. Oh, just look at that. So I can't give you a lot of details about this palette, but I can tell you that based on my experience with picking peonies, I think that if you enjoy an all shimmer palette to kind of pair with what you have in your collection already, I don't think that you would be disappointed with this. And again, because I enjoyed that first palette so much, I did keep an eye on their Instagram account and on their website. And when they restocked the Icy Chill palette, I went ahead and I picked that up, and you're going to be seeing that. I think it's going to be in my March haul. My next purchase was from Sephora, and let's see, I spent $56.86 over there. I'm mentioning the prices because I like to keep track of exactly how much I'm spending on makeup. I'm trying to spend less on makeup, and even though it's been less, it's nowhere where I want to be, especially this month. If you hear the little growling, Phoebe is kind of running around and investigating everything in my beauty room today. So that purchase I made on Sephora, I picked up the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer, and I picked it up in the shade LM8. I already own this concealer in another shade, and I've already mentioned how much I enjoyed. I think it's a beautiful concealer, a really nice match between something hydrating and something more full coverage. I think it's a really good blend. Like I said, I picked up the shade LM8. It's the one that I'm wearing today, and I love it. I previously had the shade LM14, which matched the foundation shade that I wear in the same collection, and that one's just a little bit too deep for my under eyes, even though I can make it work. And I wanted to go ahead and grab another shade so I can really enjoy when I wear the concealer. Just because that one, the shade wasn't exactly right, I wasn't wearing it as often as I would have liked, so I picked this one up and I did wear that one today, and I remember how much I love it. The second item in that order was from Patrick Ta, and that was when he launched 3 new shades of these blush duos. These are the Major Headlines Double Take Cream Powder Blush Duos, and the 3 shades that he released were the ones that were, let's see, I think it was 4 new shades. Yeah, 4 new shades, and some were from the Holiday palette, which I do own and really enjoy, and this was the one brand new shade in the color She's Blushing. So you have your typical very mirrored Patrick Ta packaging, and when you open it up, you have your cream blush with little flap and the powder blush. I did wear this one in my previous Get Ready With Me video, and I found that it wasn't as neutral, in my opinion, as how it looked in, look, you want to see Phoebe? Look. There she is. She's getting so big already. Anyway, if you want to see this one in action, you can check out that Get Ready With Me video. And what I noticed was that it's not quite as nude or neutral as it looks in the pan. It's a little bit more, I think it was a little bit more pink than I initially thought, but still a beautiful color, and the quality is really great. I love applying it the way that he recommends, putting the powder first and then the cream, because I feel like it has that effect of like a setting spray where it really blends the powder into your skin, and it's a really, really beautiful quality. So I'm glad I picked it up, even though it wasn't necessarily the shade that I thought I was going for, but still beautiful. And now that I know how it applies on the skin, then I'll know kind of what makeup looks to pair it with. So that Sephora purchase, again, was $56.86. I'm looking at my iPad for my notes, and that purchase was on February 10th. So I made purchases on the 1st, on the 4th, and on the 10th. My next purchase was on February 12th, and I spent $39.75. And I purchased the Blend Bunny, the Dollhouse palette. I was really trying to resist this palette, I'm not gonna lie. But I love the Blend Bunny Surge palette so much. I did a video trying it out, and I'll link that up in the cards in case you wanna check it out. But the quality of those mattes is so beautiful, and the way that they design these palettes is really nice and easy to use as well. The palette itself does match the outer packaging, which is something that I really appreciate. And the ingredients are actually on the back of the packaging itself, not on the back of the palette. But I do like to keep the packaging to my eyeshadow palettes. And here is what that one looks like. So for this palette, I know that a lot of people did videos on it, and I was trying to resist it because it's a neutral palette and I have a lot of those, and I wanted to kind of wait and see if they launched another really beautiful colorful palette like the Search palette. And then I thought about getting the Blends palette as well. Anyway, what got me was that they were doing a discount for like a 1 day only. I am signed up for their emails and it was a really good discount. I think it was like 25 or 30%. And so with shipping and everything, I spent $39.75, and I did go ahead and end up picking the Dollhouse palette. And what I like about the arrangement of these palettes is that if you look at it, everything is arranged like in a column, and every column is its own unique look. The top row is all shimmers, the bottom row is all shimmers as well, and then in between you have mattes. And I was really impressed with their matte formula. It blends so nicely. And you know, I'm a person that loves a good shimmer eyeshadow, which is why I have so much from the Simply Posh. But their mattes, the way that the Search palette performed, it was just so easy, and you get such a beautiful blend. And again, it's such an easy palette to use that I thought I would eventually get a lot of use out of it, even though I haven't necessarily used this one just yet. Their shimmers are really nice, very foiled metallics if you enjoy that kind of look. Kind of like a Sydney Grace type formula. And yeah, I ended up with the Dollhouse palette. My next palette was on February 13th, and that was for the launch of the eyeshadow palette that I am wearing today. Yes, so on February 13th, it was the launch of the Ilia palette, and this was the collaboration between Oden's Eye and Angelica Nyquist. And they also restocked another palette that I had had my eye on since last year. When they did their huge Black Friday sale, I picked up some of the legendary Diversa collection palettes. I picked up Annette's Makeup Corner palette and then Tina the Fancy Face palette. Those are in my project pan, and I have used Tina's palette, and every time I create a look, it's so easy to use, and the look is so special because the shimmers are really beautiful. The mattes blend really easily as well. So when I saw this Color Story tease, I went ahead and I picked it up. So it's a similar packaging, even though it's a different size. It has an outer carton. The artwork is really impressive. I wouldn't call it beautiful just because it has, you know, a little bit of a darkness to it based on the legend of the palette itself, but it is really beautifully done. And it's a hard cardboard palette, and you do have like a little plastic sleeve that protects the colors. And here is what your actual shades look like. Like I mentioned, this is the palette that I decided to wear today, and I really wanted to go into these pinky tones, which is really interesting given that I love green eyeshadow. It's my favorite color to wear on my eyes, but I was really drawn to this shade in particular, and we may as well swatch it because why not? All right, so it looks like a, you know, like a blue-brown kind of color. Let me put that down so we can get a good swatch. It's very pretty. I love these shades that, you know, they kind of transform what you put on top of it. So they're kind of topper shades, but you can build them up themselves because they are just like, there's a translucency to them, but yet there is an intense shimmer. They're just beautiful, and they look gorgeous on the eyes. It looks almost like you applied glitter, but they don't have glitter in the shades, at least not that one. So even though I wanted to go for these pinks, I went ahead and I stuck to the greens because this was the lip color that I wanted to try out. I'll be hauling it a little bit later in this video, and I felt that it just suited the green tones a little bit more. So I created the look using that shade. I used that one and this one. And the two shimmers that I wore are those two. Very easy formula to work with. Again, I think that the look is really pretty, and I didn't do anything super special, but I think that it still stands out as kind of a unique look, and it's, I don't know, it's just a really beautiful color story. She did a really great job. And even though pinks are not my favorite eyeshadows to wear, the color selection here is just really nice. It gives you something that's pink but sophisticated, not so like bubblegum kind of color. And with this deepening shade, I can see myself creating really beautiful looks. So right now, I'm loving the quality, loving the color story, and loving the eye look that I created as well. I was one of the first ones to purchase, I guess, so I was able to pick up the bundle that came with the little scarf and that was really nice. It kind of imitates the look on the eyeshadow palette itself, but I haven't really worn it, and I have it like outside my room, so I didn't want to go ahead and fetch that one. And then the other palette that I purchased was the Mini Erd palette, and this one launched quite some time ago when the brand was kind of like first gaining momentum, and a lot of people were using this palette. And when I saw Paulina Beauty create a look with this palette, I'm sold. I'm glad that she's starting to upload again. I really missed her videos. And here's what that one looks like. It's an all green palette. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Kaleidos Cyber Green or Sci-Fi Green. I think it was Sci-Fi Green palette. It has kind of like that similar vibe. Now this one does have like a split pan. I'm not too crazy about that, but at least the pan is big enough that I think I can selectively choose one shade over another. But yes, I had my eye on this one. I wanted to pick it up during the Black Friday sale, but it's sold out. It was one of the first ones to go when they were having that 50% off sale. That was a great sale, but happy to pay full price, and I'm glad that it's finally in my collection. So this one is the Mini Erd palette. And I think this was from the Norns collection. If you watch YouTube, you're probably seeing a lot of Oden's Eye now on your feed. But in case you're not familiar with Oden's Eye, they are an indie brand based out of Sweden, but their labs, I believe, are in China, and they ship out of China as well. I haven't had any trouble with shipping. When the packages come, they come in like shrink wrap. Really, really nice packaging. If there's a color story of theirs that interests you, I would definitely recommend. So that at that purchase with shipping and everything, whatever discount code I was able to find, I don't know, I spent $72 with 71 cents. My next purchase, unfortunately, I cannot show you because it's not here yet. It was made on February 19th, and I spent $48 with 93 cents, and that was at Glaminatrix Cosmetics. I was able to get a hold of the Nocturnal palette, which was their more neutral palette with like those green murky tones, and they had an option to combine shipping with like a prior order, and I had ordered the Sandra Rose Mini. My goodness, I ordered that palette last year, maybe around like October, maybe even September. It was a long time ago, but because shipping from Australia is so pricey, I went ahead and I selected to combine the order so that they would ship together, and I could save, I mean, like $20 off of that price. So I'll just pop a picture of what the palette looks like since it isn't here yet, but I did recently get my shipping notice, so I will definitely share it with you really, really soon. I'm very excited about that palette. On February 22nd, I went ahead and I placed another Sephora order because I wanted to try out the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist Weightless Eye Primer. And I've been hearing Michele, she's Michele from Everyday Glamour, Michelle's Everyday Glamour, I think is her channel name. And she said that this is her absolute favorite eyeshadow primer. She has such a beautiful shape to her eyes. I swear, like, even though she's talented with makeup, I almost feel like the makeup applies itself because she's got the most perfect eye shape and the most beautiful lid space. But anyway, she's been really raving about this eyeshadow primer, and so I went ahead and I picked it up. That purchase was $19 with 13 cents, and I like the packaging of this one. I like that it's got a flat edge, so if you lay it on your vanity or desktop, whatever, it's not going to roll away. I think that's a really nice feature. And here's what it looks like. It's got a doe foot applicator, and it has a slight peach tinge, but with eyeshadow primer, you don't want to use too much or it has the adverse effects and then your eyeshadows are creasing more. But it does have a slight color, so it does kind of mask discoloration just a tiny bit, but not as much as something like the P. Louise or the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base, or even a concealer, so it doesn't mask discoloration that much. But I do find that even without setting this, eyeshadows blend beautifully over it, and I have reduced creasing. At the end of the day, if it's been a long day and I've been sweating or running around after Phoebe, my eyeshadows do crease, but I think for my expectations and kind of comparing it to the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, it's a really, really nice one. So it's a good option, and I thought it was a great recommendation on her behalf. I think she was recommending it, for the Sephora VIB sale. My next purchase was again from Sephora on February 22nd. Why did I order it on the same day? My guess is I probably wanted to use 2 codes to get like samples of stuff. I have like Rouge shipping anyway. I pay for the $15 for the 2-day shipping, so I'm pretty sure that's what I did. wanting more freebies, I placed a separate order, and that was for the KVD Good Apple Concealer, and I think I used that one in the Get Ready With Me video, but I've been using this one for quite some time already. The packaging is so pretty. It looks like a little dropper bottle, even though it's just a doe foot applicator. The doe foot has a nice shape. It's kind of like more flattened. It's got a really nice shape. The shade that I picked up was the shade number 119, which I think is really good for a brightening concealer. It's just a hair lighter than my regular skin tone, and it took me a little while to kind of get used to using this concealer because I find that I prefer it without setting it. At first I was setting it with some of my favorite setting powders like the Pat McGrath, the Charlotte Tilbury. I tried it with the Hourglass. I tried it with a variety of setting powders, and every time I set it I felt my eyes looked heavy. My under eyes looked heavy. It started to emphasize the lines I have underneath my eyes. I don't want to call it creasing because it's just the shape of my skin under my eyes, but I felt like it was amplifying that, and that wasn't an effect I was enjoying. So I found that I actually prefer this concealer when I don't set it, or when I apply it, I blend it out and I kind of let it sit for a while. And then once it has kind of dried down a little bit, then I can use a little bit of powder, just a light layer to just give a little bit more blur in that area. And then I really like it. So it took some trial and error to get used to this concealer, but now I'm glad that I have it. And I do enjoy that it is a more full coverage concealer as well. All right, so my next purchase kind of broke the bank. It was on February 24th. I spent $155 even, and that was at Hindash Cosmetics when he launched the Monochromance palette. So I actually used this palette in my previous video as well, along with the KVD concealer and a couple of other goodies. And here is what the palette looks like. It's a hard cardboard with pink packaging, and here's what that one looks like. It's a really interesting palette because you have very large pans and then you have these ombre effects with all the colors. Now he launched his first palette which was more neutral than this one. I love the quality. Okay, the quality of these shadows is amazing, and I did an all matte look which I really enjoyed, and I really appreciated that the matte shadows kind of like smoothed out my eyelids, but they also didn't crease, and if my eyes watered, it didn't ruin my look. Like, they were a little bit resilient, which I really appreciated. And again, I wore it with the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, and I didn't 100% love the look that I created just because I was going into some of these more mauve tones and I found that I didn't have deepening shade options. So I used this one, and the colors just, I mean, they're not ideal for blending. I think in the end the look came together. So what I can tell you is quality is top notch. The shadows perform beautifully. They're very smoothing, they're very long lasting, and they're buildable. So you can start with a sheer wash and then just continue to build until you see the intensity that you have in the pan. I just felt like Color Story, if you're mixing and matching colors, you may find yourself a little bit limited, unless of course you stick with the more neutrals instead, or maybe like the pink and purple and things like that. It's just not as easy to use as his first palette, in my opinion, which gives you a lot more wiggle room. Now these are intended to use on the face as well, but I have heard more than once that they can hard pan quite easily, and because I don't really set my foundation, that makes me a little bit nervous. And I personally have beautiful face powders, blushes that I like to use, so I'm not relying on this for face products, and so I'm strictly going to use it as an eyeshadow palette. And again, the quality is just top notch. Really, really beautiful quality. I think it was made in Italy. Let me take a look. Yes, the formula is made in Italy. Now I went ahead and I made my purchase from his website because I bought it on launch day, but it has since been added to the Beautylish website. However, this particular product is not on the Beautylish website, and it is the Boy Tears. These are the Ultra Shimmer. They're called color fluids. So they can be a liquid highlighter, they can be a cream eyeshadow. The way that I wore them today, I put them on my inner corner just super lightly. I applied it to the back of my hand, and then I picked it up with a brush and I applied it to my inner corner. These, I feel, the packaging is super similar to the Lisa Eldridge ones. I feel that this is going to give you that wet look on your eyelid, and I find that it actually, like, it blends out upon immediate application, and then it dries very quickly. So I don't know if you're catching, I kind of blended it out and it looks very, very shimmery. So again, it's like that wet look. And even though I said in that Get Ready With Me video where I tried it on as a face highlighter, I mentioned that I wanted to try it over my eyelid with maybe like a bold lipstick or something like that, because I feel that this is where they're really going to shine. Pun intended, because they dry relatively quickly. When I was using them in that Get Ready With Me video, I kind of put a little color on each cheek and then I went to blend it. Kind of waited a little bit too long. So if you do elect to use it as a highlighter on your skin, I would say work one area at a time and make sure you're blending as you go, because it does set quite quickly. But I think that's ideal, right, for a product that you're going to be wearing on your eyelids possibly. So yeah, I picked that up. And then I picked up the 2 lipsticks. And I think it was just 2 lipsticks, I'm not entirely sure, but there were 2 finishes. One is a matte balm, which I wore in my last video as well, and the other one I'm wearing today, which is the shade Call Me Peaches. So I'll go ahead and show you that one first since I'm wearing it on my lips today. The packaging is the same as the other one, which I used in my last video. It's kind of a brushed metal finish, very lightweight top, which I mentioned, and his logo on the top. And here is what the lipstick looks like. It does have that velvety look to the bullet, and it applies really, really nicely. You don't need a heavy layer of lip color, and you do get full opacity with this one. I've been wearing this one for a number of hours today already, and my lips do not feel dried out, and the look is definitely matte. Now, what I do recommend is if you have your lips that are a little bit dry, exfoliate a little bit at first. And then when you apply it, kind of go over it with your fingers to get the color to sink in. And then you can kind of dab wherever you need additional color and you are good to go. Very comfortable lip color. My lips do not feel or look dry at all. So I really enjoy this one in the shade Call Me Peaches. I also appreciate that for his first nude, it wasn't super, super light, because if you have a medium or deeper skin tone, then those colors have a tendency to wash us out. And I feel like this one is not washing me out at all. I did apply it with a lip liner. I'm wearing it with one of the Makeup Forever Artist color pencils. It's Anywhere Caffeine, but I applied just lightly outside my lips to give me a little bit of definition, but the color that you're seeing is predominantly the lipstick. Then the other lip color, like I said, the bullet or the packaging is exactly the same, but this is a different formula. And this one is described as a matte balm. And I mentioned in my last Shop My Stash for February, I'm gonna combine March and April, but for February I was using the NARS tinted, what are they? NARS matte lip balms or something like that. And I feel like this is probably something similar. The bullet, when you look at it, it looks just like the Call Me Peaches one, but this has more of a satin finish on the lips. It's not as matte as what you're seeing now, and I wore this one in my last video. But I'll go ahead and give it a swatch so you can see the color, and that's what it looks like. So this one has a little bit more of an emollient formula, whereas this one feels a little bit more, I don't want to say silicone, but yeah, more like silicone in texture, whereas this one is a little more emollient and a little bit more hydrating. When I applied it, I did feel that I could see just a slight satin finish to it. So it was a very comfortable lip color, and that one is called Rest in Roses. So yes, between the palette, the 2 lipsticks, and the color fluid, that was $155. All right, my next 2 purchases were from Ulta Beauty, both on February 28th, and for some reason I have 2 different purchases. I think it's because for one I had a gift card, and so I ended up spending $5.38 because again I had a really good gift card. And so what I purchased was the Olaplex Hair Perfector number 3. I love that Ulta Beauty is carrying Olaplex since it's one of the products that I rely on. So this is the number 3, which I use before shampooing. So I'll apply this to my hair. If I'm not using a clarifying shampoo, I will apply this, kind of let it sit on damp hair, rinse it out, and then shampoo afterwards. Like some people have suggested in the past to kind of leave it on all day, and I've done that. But in order for this to work, if I understand the system correctly, I'm not a hairstylist, but I understand that your hair has to be damp for this to be able to do its job. And so I usually will just wet my hair and then apply it and do other things like brush my teeth, shave my legs, other things, so that it sits in my hair for a good 15 minutes. And then after that I shampoo. And when I'm shampooing, I definitely feel the difference. My hair is much smoother and I don't have as much frizz on my ends, even if I have split ends. And so it's a treatment that I really enjoy using about once a week. So I made that purchase separately. And then I made another purchase, which I believe was because they were having like a point multiplier thing where I believe it was if you spent $100, then you would get like 500 bonus points or something like that. But then they ended up selling out of one of the items that I wanted, and so I didn't get the bonus after all of that. But that's okay because the things I bought, I mostly liked. So the first thing was a trimmer. So when my Ricky was still with us, I really needed to clean his ears out and clean his eyes out. And so I took my own personal hair trimmer and I was using it to help trim the hair in his ears and around his eyes because his tears were starting to form there. And so when he passed, I just got rid of that tool. I just kind of gave it to him and I was using it with him, so I needed to replace it. And I had seen one on Ulta Beauty, this one by Remington. It's a detailed trimmer. It's like dual-sided blades. It's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower kind of thing. I use this mostly for my eyebrows. So I will pluck my eyebrow hairs and then I'll brush them upwards and I will trim along the top so that it doesn't get too long. I have the actual device right here and I don't love it. I prefer the other one, which was like a finishing touch thing that I bought at like a Walgreens for $10. And this one was more expensive. I don't remember the price of it, but I'll link everything down in the description box in case you want to check it out. But this is good for things like nose hair trimming, but for eyebrows, it doesn't work the same. I just feel like the blades, they vibrate. I don't know, it's just something about it. I prefer it more for nose hair trimming. I'll probably keep it just for that and get something else for my eyebrows. It does have this little push button thing so that you can clean really well underneath, but I don't know, I just don't prefer the shape and I didn't love it. It also comes with like a little comb that you can put over the top so that you can literally comb it through your eyebrows, and it works kind of like a number system for like clippers, like any clippers. But again, I preferred the other one, and so I will probably save this for nose hair trimming and use that for my eyebrows. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one unless you're looking for something for nose hairs, and then in that case, it's really good for that. Here's the little comb thing, which essentially you just put it right on there, and then you can kind of comb it through. And so it leaves your hairs long. I don't know. I haven't really used that. I mostly just like pat it right where I wanted to cut my eyebrows. But yeah, kind of regret this one. Also in that order, which by the way, my total price ended up being $95.55. I'm almost positive the bonus was if you spent $100 or more. And so you see I didn't make it since they canceled one of my things, which was, it was like a satin turban kind of thing for sleeping. Because again, my hair is really frizz prone and anyway, they canceled it. So the other item was the KVD Good Apple Foundation, and this is something that I use in that Get Ready With Me, and I've played with it a little bit, and I've gotten accustomed to pretty much how it works. I picked up the shade Medium 027, and it looks like a good shade match when you look at it in the pan, but because I don't apply a whole lot, also I feel like it's a little lighter, like just a hair lighter. I probably would have gone one shade up in whatever was a neutral color tone, or maybe something more in the warmer yellow family. Now with this one, I was expecting something really, really dewy just based on what people were saying online. I didn't get that effect, but I have really, really dry skin, and I feel like my skin can suck almost anything up. And so I felt it gave me more of a natural finish, and I really needed to work it into my skin. My preferred method of applying it is with a beauty blender. I feel with a brush, I get a heavier coverage than I prefer. So that's another thing. This is really celebrated for the amount of coverage that you get, and I don't like that amount of coverage. It just highlights everything I don't want highlighted. It shows all the texture, it shows all the wrinkles. And I feel like for my age group, I'm 44, that it just looks better when I apply a thin layer, right? And get like a light to medium coverage with it. And I prefer to do it with a beauty blender. And then once everything is applied, I then will spray my beauty blender and kind of go over it again, and it melts into my skin. So I don't love this, but I don't hate it either. I think it's fine. I like it more now after playing with it a few times. So I did share this in the same video that I was working with the Hindash palette, and it's like my 5th time applying it. So I definitely got the hang of how I like it on my skin type. So just okay. Not something that I would return or anything like that, but I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think it's fine. All right, next I had another Olaplex product, and this is the number 6. So this one has been repackaged, thank goodness. The packaging for this originally was very much like the Olaplex number 3, but the problem with that is that the Olaplex number 6 is a really thick cream. This one is more of a lightweight liquid, and so it's very easy to just kind of squeeze it out of the top. Not so with the number 6 at all. I had to actually store it upside down so that I could use it that way. So I just kept it in my drawer upside down so that I can squeeze out the product. Otherwise, it was really difficult to get it to come out because it would just settle down and it just wouldn't go down. So I had to store it that way. Anyway, I can definitely understand why they have repackaged it, and now it's in what I think is an airless pump, and a half a pump is plenty for my hair. My hair is pretty long at this point, but it's also very fine. So it just depends. You may want like a half pump or maybe a full pump. And what I like this for is I apply it right after I come out of the shower. So I will towel dry my hair and I will apply this along with a little bit of a dry hair oil, whether it's the Olaplex or I'm currently using one by Elvive, or yeah, I think it's Elvive by L'Oreal. I just will apply half a pump of that, 2 pumps of the oil, and I will apply it to my hair, and then I can comb it through while it's damp. I don't have any breakage, I don't have any fallout. It really detangles my hair really nicely. It's also heat protectant, so whenever I'm blow drying my hair, it gives me a shinier finish and kind of a more smooth result, and it's a bond smoother, so I definitely think it's a good product, but you kind of have to get the hang of it. You do not want to over apply. A little bit goes a really long way. The other one I had, oh my gosh, it lasted me probably over a year. I definitely brought it from my, yeah, definitely over a year, because I brought it from my old place, and I have now lived in my new place for 1.5 years. So that just goes to show how little you need of this product, but I really like it, really enjoy it. And again, you don't want to apply too much. So I would say, you know, if you pick it up while you're learning to use it, go for the smallest amount and kind of build up to your optimal amount. Don't go heavy-handed or you'll just have to wash your hair all over again. Another item that I picked up in that haul was by Makeup Revolution, and this was their collab with, I don't know how to pronounce the influencer's name, but it looks like Linkalo. I'm sorry, I'm honestly not sure. And the reason why I picked these up is because they were half lashes, and I really love half lashes. They're not in here because I wore them once and I have no idea where they are. I have one but not the other. I took them off in my bathroom, and then when I went to blow dry my hair, the other one just blew away somewhere. And honestly, I'm not sorry. I did not like the way that these looked at all. The band was not super flexible and my eyes are very concave, and it was lifting. For a half lash to be lifting, it has to be a stiff band. And I even tried like bending it and reapplying it, and I didn't love these, and they were not cheap. I think that the price was like $10. For Makeup Revolution, for half lash, drugstore, maybe $5, right? But I don't know where they are. I'm not sorry, I only got one use out of them. Definitely regret this one. I'll leave them linked down below in case they're still available if you want to look them up, but I would look for the Ardell accent lashes or something like that. Much better than these. All right, and the last item from that haul, I picked up 2 bottles of the Batiste dry shampoo in the Tropical Exotic Coconut fragrance. Ooh, I had started using one of these and now I don't know which is which. That's okay. This is my favorite affordable dry shampoo. It's not my favorite dry shampoo altogether. My favorite is the Redken dry shampoo. It's like Ultimate Clean, something like that. It's really fantastic. Don't love the smell, but it works really well. I also like the Living Proof one, but for an affordable option, I think that this one works just fine. And I like the smell. The tropical scent is really nice. It comes in a whole bunch of different fragrances, and they also have some that are for brunettes, so it doesn't leave like that white cast and things like that. I just think it's a really good option, and I picked up 2 of them. I think they were like buy one half off when I made that purchase. That was everything that I bought in February. I did receive some PR, so I wanted to share that with you, even though I had it in my February makeup basket. I did receive 2 items from Merit Beauty. I received their Perfect Black Lengthening Mascara, and this one is a really nice mascara. It is a tubing mascara. It has a natural bristle brush, which I prefer plastic bristles, but I was actually really impressed with the lengthening and separation that I got from this type of brush. And the formula is really nice for every day. You can easily wash it off with water. Makeup removers, oil-based makeup removers, or makeup removing balms do not work for this. But I think it's a really nice mascara. Pricey, but really it's a good one. It's a nice one. And then I also received this volumizing pomade in the shade brown, and this one is just their eyebrow pomade or a little eyebrow gel with fibers in it. And I picked mine up in the shade brown, and on an everyday basis, I'm not really doing full brows. I have pretty good brows, so I'll just brush this through for a little bit of hold and a little bit of volume, and I am good to go. So on an everyday basis, this is a really great product. Really enjoyed this one. Really enjoyed both of them actually for my everyday makeup routine. So that is everything. Okay, I was telling you the prices as we were going along. The grand total, this is not counting the PR obviously, and it's not counting any gift cards that I had. The grand total for that month, not proud of this, is $660 with 28 cents. And I have a note right on my iPad which says no bueno, because it is no bueno. And March was a rough month. Definitely went overboard in March, and I'll have that makeup haul coming up pretty soon. I'm trying to catch up, and I know you guys won't mind since you've never minded a makeup haul from me, but in general, it was 9 palettes, 2 concealers, 1 blush, 1 eye primer, 2 lipsticks, 1 single shadow / pigment, 1 foundation, and 4 hair products. So you know I'm doing the 1 in, 1 out rule. I have no idea what 9 palettes I'm going to be able to declutter. And for March, wait for it, I bought 19 eyeshadow palettes in March. I know. I can't even believe it myself. That'll be a video for another day, and we'll do the little bookkeeping and accounting on that one on a separate occasion. I do hope that you enjoyed seeing this haul. Most of the items that I shared with you I had already used, so I can at least give you some information about the products. And then the eyeshadow palettes that I haven't had the opportunity to get to, we swatched a couple of shades, and at least I was familiar with the brand, so I can tell you about that and have it be a little bit more informative. A big thank you to Luisa Jewelry for working with me on this video and gifting me the beautiful jewelry pieces that I shared with you, the earrings, the hairpins, and the lovely ring. I have quite a lovely collection of Luisa Jewelry at this point, and I love each and every piece that I've received. It's been really good quality and consistently cute pieces. Definitely check out their Mother's Day sale. It's one of the best sales that they have all year in case you're looking for a gift for the occasion, or it's just time to treat yourself to a little jewelry gift. Definitely recommend them, especially these earrings, and these are again the Cuidado earrings. I'll leave the name in the description box so that you can look it up in case you're interested in those. I will also have a link that will take you to their website and have you take advantage of the sale if you are so inclined. So thank you again, Luisa Jewelry, for supporting me and my channel. I really appreciate it. And a big thank you to you for joining me for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if so, let me know by giving it a big thumbs up and hitting the subscribe button. You're also going to want to ring the notification bell because as a new puppy mom, my upload schedule is all over the place, but as you can see, I have a lot to catch up on. I will also share those updates on Twitter, and I'm starting to pick up my Instagram and TikTok again. If you would like to join me over there, I'd love to have you. That's everything for me today. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.